Morning, everybody, and welcome back. I heard you enjoyed your Tuesday off. Um, Hopefully, you got to go outside. It was a really nice day and just enjoy the weather. So, we are working on something new today. So, you're going to need something to write with and something to write on. You're going to need to take some notes and practice some problems. So, pause the video if you need to, grab that stuff, and then come back when you're ready. So, today, really for the rest of the week, we're going to be working on dividing decimals, right? Um, Today's focus is going to be on dividing with a decimal in the divisor, okay, that second number. So I want you to take a look at this equation. It's 42 divided by 0 and 7 tenths. Without solving it, right? I'm not asking you to solve it, but what do you think the answer is going to be real big, or do you think it's going to be real small? Okay, so think about that for a second. Pause the video if you need to. So when I think about it, I think about, okay, well, I know 42 divided by 0 and 7 tenths. It's the same thing as saying 7 tenths times what number equals 42. And if I remember from last week, when we were, Monday and last week, when we were multiplying by a decimal number, it got smaller, right? So to multiply something by 0 and 7 tenths and it's still to be 42 wholes, that question mark, that missing factor, is going to have to be really big, okay, or pretty big, I should say, so that when we multiply by 0 and 7 tenths, it can get up to 42. So I think the answer to this is going to be really big. And that's really important to go through that process when you start these problems, because that's going to essentially be the trick to it. So if we go and solve it, right? We have 42 divided by 0 and 7 tenths. Well, we don't know how to solve this. If we think about multiplication, what's the first thing we did when we got a multiplication of decimals problem? We got rid of the decimal. So same thing we're going to do here. I'm going to move this out one place value. Okay? That's going to turn my problem into 42 divided by 7. Okay? Now, if I go and solve that, I get 6. So 42 divided by 7 tenths is equal to 6. Now, hold on a second. Does that make sense? Not does it make sense, like, do you understand it, but does that logically make sense? Is that a reasonable answer? Because back here we said it was going to be real big. 6 isn't real big. If I did 6, so let's think about it this way. If I did 6 times 0 and 7 tenths, would I get 42 wholes? No. So, it's got to be bigger than 6. Well, how much bigger? We moved one place value here, right? So here's the trick. In my answer, I move it one place value up. So my answer is 60. Okay? Does that make sense? So what we did, if we recap how we solved this problem, we got rid of the decimal, right? We've made one jump up and it turned into 42 divided by 7. We solved that normal. And then we thought, okay, 6 is way too small of an answer. So because we jumped out once here, we're going to jump out once here and make it 60. All right? So let's try another one. So 84 divided by 1 and 2 tenths. I want you to solve this on your own, but I've given you those steps that we just kind of went through. So step 1, if the decimal is in the divisor, that's the second number, move it out. All right? Step 2, solve the division equation. Step 3, determine how many jumps to move out your answer. So pause the video here so you have these steps in front of you. Solve this problem, and then when you're ready, come back. So, step 1, move it out. Right, I made one jump, and now that turns my problem into 84 divided by 12. And in a super magician-like way, almost as quick as Sonic the Hedgehog, I can solve it, right? So the answer here would be 7. 84 divided by 1.2 equals, wait, but it's not 7, because remember, we had 7, but just like last problem, that's too small. We made one jump out, so we make one jump out, and the answer is 70. Okay? So let's try it here. Try this one. Think about what you would do here. Pause your video, solve this one on your own, and when you're ready, come back. So the steps here are going to still be the same, okay? First step I'm going to do is jump out. Here's what a lot of students will do. They'll go, oh, all right, one jump. Wrong. You have to go by place values, right? So here's one jump, here's a second jump. So that turns my problem into 315 divided by 15. So now I've got it all set up. I am trying to think logically and be efficient with my division strategy. So I know that 15 times 2 is 30, so 15 times 20 would be 300. And that takes off a ton. Left with 15. Multiply it by 1. Be 15. Be 0. Oh, sorry, this should be 20, not just 2. So it would be 21. But I'm not done, because I went one jump, two jumps. So now my answer, I go one jump, two jump. So my answer to 315 divided by 0 and 1500ths would be 2,100. Okay? So let's talk about what we have to do today. There's a practice sheet on Schoology. It's real quick. All right. Hopefully it doesn't take you too terribly long. If this is confusing you, if you start doing your worksheet and you are confused by it, I have office hours from 10 to 11. Please also remember, if at any point in the day you are struggling, just let me know, and I would be more than glad to help you out. My Wednesday small group, we are meeting from 1:30 to 2, and also my homeroom. We have circle at 2 p.m. today. All right, I really hope to see everybody there. That would be fantastic. I hope you enjoy your day. Make sure you get your work done, ask questions if you need to, and show all of your work, okay, on the worksheet. Show all work. All right, bye everyone.